Okay.
That's not necessarily the best way to love somebody. You have to see if it's possible to love someone for where they're going. Don't love me for who I am. Love me for who I'm becoming. It's not just who I be, it's who I'm becoming. And most people don't take the time to find out the people who they draw close. Where are you going? What do you want to be? And then I can always determine the people who are really going somewhere or the people who are just saying it, because if they're not taking the necessary steps to prepare themselves to become what they're saying they want to be, I know it's just a sham.
Wow. Now, how does a person, and you just said you will know if they're going to do that by taking the necessary steps. So in order to get an authentic relationship, a lot of people may come to you and say, listen, the Lord has sent me to you. I am to be your armor bearer. God has called me to you. How do you know that's true, Pastor?
Well, first of all, is that God is not going to call anybody to me who does not have a pursuit to know my heart.
That's good.
Because the thing about it is that if all you're interested in, okay, is bearing my armor, that's going to be a problem. Because it's not just about bearing my armor, it's about understanding my heart. And most of us can have people around us who really are interested in what we do more so than interested in who we are. So I need people, you need people, we need people around us who say, you know what? When you're broke, I understand your heart. When you got money, I understand your heart. When you're employed, I understand your heart. When you're unemployed, I understand your heart. We connect on surface levels of what we do instead of on heart levels of who we be and who we are becoming.
Wow. Now, to build this authentic relationship with people, is it something that you really have to pray about, or is it just an innate understanding that this is the type of character that I'm looking for, this is the type of attributes that I'm looking for in building this relationship, or is it something that it takes time to pray over?
I want to make sure that I'm not misunderstood when I answer this. Okay. I want to make sure now you know me. I'm an advocate of prayer. Okay. Praying is what we do over at Love and Work. So I believe that you pray about everything. But here's the thing. You can't change your prayer because you want to adjust what you see in front of you or make an exception to what God showed you. Okay?
Elaborate on that.
If I've said God, let me say this. If I say, God, look, I'm headed this way. I'm going to do radio. Okay, I'm going to go do radio. And God has connected me, okay, with a sister minister, with a Jerri Beasley. Okay, now all of a sudden, I get mad with Jerri Beasley because she's doing something else. Okay, now God's already given me a Jerri Beasley to be connected to. Well, now I done shifted in my emotions. I want to do something else because I get somebody else come along who says they can do something better. Well, now all of a sudden, I'm praying because I want God to validate what I want instead of holding to what He's already given me. And so my thing is to say, look, God, you're leading me in this direction, and you have given me what I needed. Let me proceed and go down this road. And so all I'm saying is that yes, we ought to pray. But when do you execute? Because you can't keep coming to me.
That's
a person wants a relationship. You can't keep coming to me and I'm building my finances. You won't work and you perpetually broke. You always need this and you need that.
Come on.
And God said, no, we're not going to do that. People don't understand that when you're coming together in these relationships, that it's got to be purpose driven. It's got to be not only for where I am, it's got to be for where I'm going. There got to be heart matters to where people understand you beneath the surface and not just what you're doing, but who you are being and who you are becoming. And you don't just shift your prayers just because you find a new flavor of the day.
Come on. That's good. I remember a long time ago, you prayed a prayer at church, and you talked about, Lord, forgive me. You said, if it was up to you, you would have chosen the people that you wanted. But God chooses who He knows you need.
Yes.
And in building authentic relationships, I think a lot of times we do make the mistake because we will choose the people that we want instead of the people that God knows that we need, because God can see ahead of the road and what we're going to need and what's in that person that you may need.
Yes, yes, but here's the thing about it is that when you pray in this prayer, okay, are we really trusting God? And are we put off by what shows up when the prayer is initially answered? You understand what I'm saying? Because sometimes, I'm going like, okay, you know what, this can't be God, because this is what I had in my mind when I prayed. And then he sends something else that don't look like what I had in my mind. Not understanding that, Samuel, don't get overly excited about what you see in front of you. You're looking at the outward appearance. I'm looking at the heart. Because a lot of times, I'll be real honest with you, Sister Minister, in personal, in business, in ministry, I pick some wrong people. And we all have. There's nobody that's saying we can't. Yep. We all have. We pick wrong people. But sometimes we knew it, and sometimes we fell victim to what we wanted to believe. Yeah. About the person who was in front of us.
What is the danger of becoming too common? Because oftentimes they could have probably not even started out as the wrong people, but maybe we become common. And I know that sometimes you can become common to where when you become too common with somebody, they mishandle what they have.
Oh, why you be trying to?
I'm messy like that. Yeah, I'm messy like that, Pastor. That's the spirit.
I'm almost to believe you got the Holy Ghost. Listen, the reason why I say that is that we have a pastor's call every Sunday morning, and when we said that this morning is that we have to be in authentic leadership position and roles, and we can't afford to become overly common with people. And when I say that, I'm not talking about that you have to be standoffish or or narcissistic or stuck up in it, that kind of stuff. I'm saying that folk have to be able to see you in the gift role that God has made you when it comes to a pastor. Yes. There are always people who are close, but you got to be seen in the gift role that God has made you. So you can become common with folks. And here's the thing about it: they were sent. Watch this now. To support or help nurture your gift, and not sent to support and help nurture your person.
Help me. I wrote the short bus here. Explain that. Okay, to nurture your gift, but not your person.
Not
meaning
your person.
Okay.
Here's the thing about it is I have to show up at church. Okay. And I have to do some things. And the gift that God has given me in terms of preaching, in terms of pastoring, in terms of praying for people, there are folk who stand in the gap. There are folk who support ministry. There are folk who intercede. There are people who counsel. There are people who travel. There are people who do all of this kind of stuff. They support the gift of ministry. We don't go out to eat.
That's good.
Okay. We don't have barbecues and everybody gets invited to everybody's house and do all of that. Because sometimes we make common, and they were not sent there to support the person; they were sent there to support the gift.
That's good. That's good. And because of that commonality, and because of the barbecues and hanging out, when it's time to bring correction, they really can't handle correction from somebody they consider common or a friend.
Because they have crossed the line.
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking about, see, here's the thing about it. I'm not even talking about that you're doing, it's not necessarily something crazy going on. But the issue is that now we talk on all kind of levels. Well, you can't talk with everybody at a level that lets them see you in your vulnerability. And sometimes your vulnerability in ministry is not some physical or carnal sin. Sometimes it's a fear. Sometimes it's being in a place of faithlessness. Sometimes it's being in a place of challenge. All of that stuff that we find ourselves in. And so we let folks see us vulnerable, and then people see, okay, well, there's a weakness, there's an opportunity here. And so how you going to lead me out if you scared of this or if you scared of that?
Yeah.
So we have to be careful when we say, people, look, you're here to support me in this gift.
Right.
But you're not here to support me as a person.
That's good.
And people, I know you may say, wow, that's bone and marrow. Yeah, it probably is bone and marrow. But the difference is, beloved, that when you are looking for somebody who is there to support you in ministry, understand that boundaries are important.
That's good. That's good. Listen, we want to get back to this. We're going to take a break real quick, a quick commercial break, and then I want to come back. And then I want to open up the phone lines at 713-526-1230 for anyone who has a question that we're talking about, authentic relationships, with Pastor Paul D. Landrew. If you have a question that you want to ask him, you can call us at 713-526-1230. We'll be right back.